Are we live? Are we back? Sorry, guys, I just need to see that we're live. Okay. Hey, we're live. We're live. All right, cool. We're live. We're live. How is it going, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the NJ Show. For those of you who have actually tuned in today, you guys are the loyal ones, guys and girls, of course. I know some of you are watching this recorded later on, but don't worry about it. Look, it's great to be back. It really is. It really is great to be back. I appreciate everybody tuning in. I appreciate everybody being patient. I know that things have been quite turbulent here on the NJ show. Sometimes I'm streaming, sometimes I'm not, but we'll see what we can do to resolve that. All right. Hope everybody's doing good and hope everybody's keeping well. Hope everybody's been making money over the last couple of weeks. We've got quite a bit to talk about today. We're going to do the usual format. We're going to talk a little bit about what's going on in the market. We're going to talk about Bitcoin, and then we're going to get into a bit of a detailed discussion as to why I think what I think. All right. Look, I'm not bearish. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, you're so bearish." I'm not bearish. I just don't know how we can. Anyway, we'll talk about this. I've missed you guys a lot. Let's kick off the episode the usual way. Please remember to smash a like on the video if you don't mind, because we need to get like 100 to get these algorithms working. um and share the video. All right, if you haven't retweeted anything or if you haven't seen anything, just share it with somebody at least. Let's bring up our screen. Hold on. Okay, fresh chart of Bitcoin. Let's make this screen a bit better. Before we go into Bitcoin real quick, let's just quickly have a look to see. One thing that you guys need to be wary of is tomorrow, Wednesday, the 12th of April, we have got CPI. Okay. Now, this is a whole conversation in itself, this CPI thing. For those of you who don't know what CPI is, it's a consumer price index. To summarize what CPI is in 1-2 sentences, CPI measures inflation. All right. So the higher the number is, the worse it is. And the lower the number is, the more, smiley you can get. Now, throughout the course of 2022, what did we see? We saw the inflation numbers rising and rising and rising. And, we compared that to the price of Bitcoin. So we said, all right, well, inflation's going up, Bitcoin's going down. It kind of makes sense, traditional markets are running it, etc., etc. You've got the dollar, etc., etc. And given that we were seeing such huge rises and spikes in inflation, we thought to ourselves, well, after inflation hits a certain high, you get the recession, right? Now, have we had that recession yet? We've had harder times. We've had the energy prices surging, but have we had that recession yet? Is everybody as broke as they should be before this market can really start ramping? And also, you've got to ask yourself as well, if CPI came in bullish, would that send Bitcoin to 40K or has it been priced in? So many questions to ask, okay? But look, first and foremost, just be mindful that we've got CPI tomorrow, okay? This is showing it in the UK time. So for me, it's going to be around 1:30 p.m. No, I'm not going to be going live for this CPI. Unfortunately, I won't be, but we're going to try and get things getting back to normal as soon as we can, all right? So be mindful of that. We're going to see some volatility there, big volatility coming in for CPI, because as we move over to Bitcoin, Bitcoin is now breaking out. What do I mean by Bitcoin breaking out? Let's break Bitcoin down, all right? Now, we don't really need to talk about all the stuff that's happened here. We just need to really focus on what's been happening now. So, once we had that big breakout for this weekly here, this weekly opened Monday the 13th of March. Once we had this big weekly upthrust, we had 3 weeks of very, very boring price action. Now, some altcoins rallied, okay? Some altcoins really, really rallied. And we will talk about altcoins in a second too, because that's something that we really need to talk about. Altcoins. We need to figure out what to do, okay? Now, when it comes to this price chart of Bitcoin, this is what I've got here, okay? This is what I've got here. So I take this high here, bring that out like this. I take this low here, bring that out like this. Let me zoom in a little bit for you guys so you can see what bulk of price action I'm focusing on. This is the bulk of price action I'm focusing on. Why? Simply because this was the range that we played throughout the entire run. Okay, if we go down into the daily, We can see here, okay, in hindsight now, it does look like consolidation before we pushed up, but we were there for 3 weeks, you know, and price did squeeze a lot in those 3 weeks, you know. So this is the range that I was looking at. Now, I thought, my personal opinion was this: we've spiked up all the way aggressively with no real pullbacks. Look, we've got a big spike here, minimal pullback. Big spike here. We've consolidated above. Even if you marked out this daily candle here, um, Friday the 17th of March, even if you mark that out as a range, right? We would have not even retested that mid range. So even this low right here that came in on the 11th, 15th of March, 14th of March, right? This high that was made right here, we haven't even retested that. So this is where my confusions came. I thought to myself, all right, well, look, we've got CPI coming up. We've got another rate hike coming up, probably. That's never a good thing. A rate hike is never, ever a good thing. All right. So I thought to myself, all right, let's line up the ducks. We've got the rate hike coming. We've got CPI coming. I'm guessing inflation might come in a little higher this time. I've got reasons to believe it might. Even if it does come in a little lower, the car has still been crashed. It's not a, we haven't rebuilt that car yet for us to say, yeah, we're back on the road, you know? Coupled with the fact that we had the S&P that was at major resistance. So I thought, okay, Bitcoin's pushed all the way up here to 29.2K, 29.3K. Everybody's waiting for 32K, and we'll come to that in a second. We're probably going to break down here, coupled with a little bit of your trend line stuff here. Hold on. You see these wicks here that we're looking at? That's sellers stepping in. Let's drag that out a little bit more. All these wicks here that you're seeing, that's sellers stepping in. So if you had marked out this trend line from very early on, you would have seen every time you short into this area, you're going to walk away with some kind of profit. Again, up here, you short into this area here, you're going to walk away with some kind of profit. But up here, we didn't quite get that. Okay. And now we've come and pushed into resistance once again. Okay. How did I get this resistance here at 30.2-ish K? How did I get that resistance? It's not just your trend lines. You can use a fib as well. So for example, I told you this weekly range here, this is the range that I marked out. This is the one that was important to me. If I take this range here and I mark it out like this, where does that fib sit? It sits right here, 3263-ish, okay, ish. And we're there again. And for me, it's so difficult right now to say to people, oh, I'm going long, because we've had the resistance there, we've had resistance there, we've had resistance there. Now we're back at resistance. So many things line up to say this thing is going lower. Now, in reverse, is there anything happening in the reverse that could make me think this is not going lower? Well, you've got gold. All right. Now, gold, we are going to come back to Bitcoin, but just looking at gold very quickly, gold, I marked, when I marked this line out for gold, I think I didn't even have a camera yet. I didn't even have a streaming camera yet. I marked this line out. When did I mark this level out? Ages ago, guys. I marked this level out in 2020. All right. I deleted everything on my chart for gold, and I just left this line because this is the line that was important to me for months on the monthly time frame. You could pick any time frame higher than the monthly, and you'll see this level here was so important. Now we closed above it, retested it, rejection, sold back in, retested it as resistance, sold off. Came all the way back up, retested it as resistance, sold off. Big sell off. Now we've come back to retest it again. Initially we had the sell off, but we've pushed higher. Okay, after months, we've broken above this level now. So really and truly, I can't tell you what's going to happen next with gold. All right, with gold, the problem with gold is when it pushes very aggressively, and when it dumps very aggressively. It's very difficult to get a read on gold. Yeah, you're seeing the higher lows, but if I tell you to zoom into the H4 and give me a valid setup, one that lines up with the overall market, it's going to be difficult to do that because this thing can do whatever it wants sometimes. All right, now given that this is doing that, right, and you can see, right, where's the all-time high for gold? All-time high for gold is here. I don't think it's unfair to say that this thing wants all-time high right now. Okay, especially given that formation is like a reverse Adam and Eve type formation. I don't really know where this is going. All right, I could be wrong. I could be wrong. The monthly just opened at the beginning of the month, 11 days ago. We could just dump below, and we could close this month of April bearish. We could. I don't know right now because we've broken key resistance and we've closed above. We've broken above the monthly open, the quarterly open, and we've started pushing up. So it's very, very difficult. I don't actually know anybody who has a 100% read on this market. Everybody's just going based on invalidation levels, and that's cool. That's totally cool. But here on the NJ show, we need to try and figure out what the hell is going on. So let's go back to Bitcoin real quick because that was an interesting piece of conversation. Let's go back into the daily. Yeah, the daily. That's where we were. Okay. So going back to Bitcoin once again, if I want to get bullish, what do I need to see? Well, I'm going to need to see I'm going to need us to find support here. All right. If I imagine I tell you guys to go long, imagine everybody joins this stream, everybody saying, "Oh, NJ, please don't be bearish, bro. Come on, man. Like, you're the rapper, you're the crypto rapper. You're doing videos on altcoins and you're shilling shit coins. Don't tell me you're bearish. I'm not bearish. I live for crypto. When I think the real bull market comes back, we'll ride it. I've not been able to ride this because I can't see a bull market here. I just can't see it. And this is just from the charts. If we're going to talk about things like oil, have we spoken about oil recently on this channel? Oil, this is if we go back on the NJ show and we go back a couple of months ago, I did this chart here on the NJ show. Look, oil bounced off support and it's pushing up. Now, I didn't know that the news for oil was going to come out. I just marked it in the chart. I was like, look, just for the sake of it, but guys, when oil does this in a market like this, that's typically risk off, that means inflation is going higher. That means that if we get CPI is going to come in higher, my friends. You know what I'm saying? It's not, it, I can't seem to find the reasons to get bullish here. Now, at the same time, I need to adapt. I know that at the same time, we need to not ignore that Bitcoin is doing what it's doing. What if Bitcoin wants to come here to 38K? Okay, that's what it could do. What if Bitcoin wants to come here at 48K? What if that's what it wants to do? All right, let's break it down. So, we'll go back on the daily for now. Take a screenshot of this because this is about to disappear. All right, or you can rewind it and watch it later. You can see why I'm bearish here, why we've hit multiple levels of resistance here, and I can't tell anybody that I'm buying, and I can't tell anybody to buy either because we could get. What if we got something like this? You just can't say no. Do you know what I mean? You can't. What if we got something like that? So it's a very, very difficult position to be in. A very, very difficult position to be in. And thank you everybody tuning in. I didn't think we'd have this many people, to be honest, tuning in. I'm really grateful for everybody tuning in. Please, even if you're here for 2 minutes or so, hit the like button. Maybe subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying the content. I'm going to be trying to do more content as we go along. Feel free to leave a comment, get involved in the chat. I will hit up the chat in a few minutes maybe as well, and we'll have a little conversation. You guys can ask me any questions and stuff. I've missed you guys too, so it'd be good to get in touch with you guys. All right, cool. So now we'll move over to the next scenario. So we've got reasons for the bearishness here. What about if we are bullish? If we're bullish, how do we prepare for it? What do we need to look for? What's the trigger going to be? And hold on a second. If we're bullish on Bitcoin, how is that going to work for altcoins? Because if we're bullish on Bitcoin, if we are, then most likely at some stage, we're going to hope for that money from Bitcoin to flow into Ethereum, for that money in Ethereum to flow into altcoins so that we can really make those multipliers, right? That's what we're looking for. All right. Now, let me delete this chart. Now, if we're going to be bullish, we need to see where are we trading? Where is price being capped? Now, This consolidation here reminds me a little bit of this consolidation here. And this consolidation here on the left, my friends, is the consolidation that sent the market lower and took us into what people are now calling the accumulation range. So if I just do this for a second, this is very badly drawn, but just to give you guys the idea, there is what people are calling the macro bottom. Okay. So if we zoom out a little bit, you see that? So you've got bull market, bear market, accumulation, and now people think we're going into the bull market. Look, I would love to be wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm going to be so happy, okay? Because we want the bull market back. I cannot wait for the bull market to come back. You lot don't know me when the bull market is here. I'm a different person, different attitude, different charisma. Let's make some money first, okay? And I'll show you what bull market is about. We're going to have some fun on this channel here. It will be a good place to hang out. I'm going to be streaming a lot more too because it will just be so much more relevant by then, you know? So anyway, so there's our accumulation range. Now, what range have we fallen into now? If we're breaking above, I'm going to go ahead and choose this. Let me just unmagnet this. Let's go for a ray instead. Sorry, lads and ladies. Let me zoom in a little. Let me zoom in a little bit so I can get the right point. Yeah, I like that. I like this. Okay. So we're going to go with this low here. Oopsie daisy. We're going to go with that low there. And we're going to go with this high here. Okay. Now, thank you very much for waiting. Now, if we've broken into this range, let's try and understand this range. Okay. So let's delete these bottom ones here because we're not there anymore. It's going to be a while before we see that again. Unless. So let's look at this range. Let's take a fib out and let's see where we are in this range. Okay, here's the consolidation. I've explained to you guys why the expansion below makes this consolidation so important. This is the area of resistance, of true resistance. Think about it for a second, my friends. Okay, think about it for a second. Look, price pushed all the way down here, right? On the 18th of June. We had this rally all the way up until August. Who says August? August. We had this rally all the way up until August, and it was good because we made a couple longs. I think we longed a couple of altcoins during this. I was streaming during this time, and then price broke down. But I think it wasn't exactly at the lows. We didn't catch the exact lows, but it was around somewhere around here. Once we broke this high, no, it wasn't. No, it wasn't that. It wasn't that at all. It was. Yeah, it was. Yep, it was around January. Yes, I was streaming in January and it was around here I started playing. But when we got to these range highs right here at 25k, I stepped back. I saw everything. I saw the artificial intelligence rally that we had. I saw the GambleFi rally that we had, all these gamble tokens that were going crazy, AI tokens going crazy. I saw all of this and I thought to myself, well, hang on a second. It kind of makes sense. Okay. You've got Bitcoin rallying all the way to 25k, the range highs of that accumulation phase. Cool. Meme coins are starting to show their worth. Large caps have already ran a little bit. ETH is following Bitcoin. So there's no reason to be really bullish here. Now, if we mark this back out as a range high, just very quickly, just very, very quickly, just for NJ, right? And I'm going to give this one a different color. Let's give this one red. Okay. Now, I just gave you guys my thoughts as to what I would do at the range high. That's what you want, guys. You see, you've got a range high here. You've got a range low there. You would make the most money ever if price just kept doing that. If price went to range high, range low, range high, range low, range high, range low, you would make so much money, right? If price is trending like it is right now, you don't know where the targets are. So in a range-bound environment, you have the opportunities to really make the most money. So you can see why at the range high, I got bearish. Why would I be bullish? You know? Oi, who's done that? My chart back. Don't know. Who's logged into my trading view? Anyway, so notice how if we broke the range high and we were in this range for so long. Let me show you guys how long we were in this range for. Sorry for the boringness. Hold on. Getting to the point. We're getting to the point. Where is this date range? From here all the way to here. We were in this range for 265 days. Okay? So given that we broke out of it, I thought we would have got a retest. Doesn't it make sense to have a retest of this area here? Or maybe, hold on a second, if we had something along the lines of this, maybe price pushes into here and then pushes up. But we didn't. We didn't. All we got was this consolidation area right here, and now price is pushing up. So look, it's very bullish. The momentum is very strong. I've given you my thoughts as to why I was where I was, but now that we're back inside of this range, this upper green band here, we need to start paying more attention. Now, look, you guys know, for those of you who trade price action and purely price action, you trade from the range low to the mid range, from the mid range to the range high. This is a standard SC thing. Everybody who studied from him knows. All right? We're at the mid range and we're showing a rejection off the mid range. Now, this is the thing. This is the thing. For those of you, again, who trade price, another thing that we don't like is we don't like price going up in a straight line. No pullbacks, no retests, no liquidity seeking or whatever. Like, we've got stops resting right below this area here. Why didn't we at least take out these stops first before pushing, you know? Or what about these stops here? I think that would have properly. It sounds like a too good to be true scenario, but so many people would have not been on board. You know, similar to this one, not many people are on board. People are long. The people who are winning right now, don't be annoyed by them. If you're a bear, if you're saying that price should go lower and people are taking the mick out of you, don't even worry about it. If Bitcoin goes all the way up here to 38K, they're not going to sell. They're going to tell you it's going to 50K, 45K, 50K. They're not going to sell. And then when price starts turning and going all the way lower and you're shorting every single bit down, you make 2R here, 3R here, 3R here, 4R here, another 2R here. All this move up that you've made, people have made money in that they didn't take profit on, you're shorting all the way back down. It's bull market for you. So bulls, bears, it doesn't really matter. All you got to care about is what the chart is saying, what price is saying. At the end of the day, I don't care who was right and who was wrong. I care about who's making money. That's why we're all in this game, money. All right? So anyway, rant over. So now that we're in this range, honestly, this is what I'm thinking, okay? If we're at the mid-range now, we've got two areas that we can really go to. We can go to the range high or we can go to the range low. Don't buy the mid-range. You don't buy into strength like this. Don't short this and don't long this, because we can get one candle, one very, very godly candle into 35K. We can. Just because Bitcoin. I've seen it before. It's so stupid. You know? We can get that. Now, the higher this goes in this straight line, the worse it's going to be. No pullbacks means that when it drops, it's going to be really, really, really ugly. All right? But we still have a range to work with here. Now, it's very, very obvious what I'm going to say next. This is where we were trapped for 3 weeks, this area right here. Therefore, that's where I'm going to want my pullback. So if I zoom in a little bit, again, it looks like we're about to push up. It looks like we're about to push up monstrously, actually. It does, but we're still at resistance. We don't know. All right. If we can break down, I'm probably not going to short this if we do. All right. This is the area. Around this area here is where I'd look to say, look, do you know what? This might be a valid long. All right. So that is my bullish scenario for Bitcoin. The other bullish scenario I've got is this one. I'm not taking this. I'm not taking this. Yeah. So you go to the 1 hour, you've got something like this. I'd get on board somewhere around here. Okay. I'll zoom in for you guys. Something like that. Okay. I don't like that scenario. I don't like that scenario at all. I just can't see it feasible. Look, everything I've learned in the trading game, if this was 2018 NJ, I'd be like, yeah, bull market is back. They doubted us. F these guys, F that. But since then, I've learned so much stuff. I've learned so much stuff. I've learned about traditional markets. I've learned about FX pairs. I've learned that Bitcoin is a big thing, but it's a small part of a very big picture. And Bitcoin is kind of like precious metals. I'd compare it to precious metals. Notice how when gold goes really crazy, so does Bitcoin, right? Or like um, the S&P's a stock, but you know what I mean, right? I compare Bitcoin to those kind of things. Now, that means that Bitcoin is a risk asset, right? And I know that you guys know what risk assets are now. You guys all should know what risk on and risk off means. And if you don't know, then that's your homework. At the end of this stream, go and Google what is risk on, what is risk off. But to summarize for you guys really quickly, risk on is when you can, it's like right now, like when the market is just aggressively pushing like this, where any assets that involve risk, like gold or the SPX or Bitcoin or anything that's risk, even not houses, not houses. What's another risk on asset? My mind's going a bit blank. But any risk on assets, that's what you can expect. They'll all just start climbing. Now, with Bitcoin doing this, I want to be bullish and I want to party. I want to say that this is it. I want to say that the bear market started in November 2021. As we approach November 2023, we are transitioning into a bull market. I want to say that. I can't. I can't. And look, I can see people outperforming me, yeah? I can see people like look at Inge. Inge, have you guys seen Inge? In fact, you know what? Let's do that. Let's do that. So look, I've given you a bullish view on Bitcoin. I've given you a bearish view on Bitcoin. I am not taking the bullish scenario. I am looking for this. I'm looking for a pullback into 28.5k ish. The pullback can be as steep as 27.8k. Jesus Christ. But the targets are much higher. Okay. We're looking at 30k again, 32k, and probably honestly, if we're going to start breaking these targets, we're probably going for like 38k. Um, we're probably going here 38k. If we break, if we can really hold above 30, then that's where we're probably going. All right. But look, I spoke to the guys at In It for the Tech. We're going to try and stream a lot more. So maybe we'll try and catch it on stream. All right. So what we'll do is I'm probably not going to come live tomorrow, but maybe the day after or something like that. And we'll review what we said today and we'll see where we are. If price has pulled back into that zone, or if price is still consolidating at that zone, or if price is going to push up. Now, just before I talk about more charts, I want us to look at this coin market cap very quickly, just because this is insane. This is actually insane. Let's go through this together, all right? So Bitcoin, we already know, 7% up for the day, for the last week, sorry. And Ethereum is not too far behind it at 1.22%. But that's going to be important. Remember that. Remember that I said that. It's going to be very important because typically in markets, you see that when Bitcoin moves, if Bitcoin moves 1%, ETH tends to move maybe 2-3%. All right. But notice how Bitcoin is moving and ETH is giving us maybe 1/10 of that. All right. So keep that in mind. The next thing that we're looking at is Tether. Tether is up. More people are holding USDT because they are sidelined. They're not winning the way that you think that they're winning. Whether they're tweeting it, whether they're coming on YouTube and claiming, they're not winning as much as they claim they are. There are a few rare ones that are, but the rest aren't. They're locked up in Tether. Okay? And scrolling down a little bit, we're starting to see the ripple effects of this Bitcoin move now. We're seeing BNB is up 4.4%. We're seeing, well, Doge already had its pump. That's why it's down so much. But Solana is up 11.3%. We're seeing, we're seeing, oof, interesting. Interesting how the gainers are working. But the main point that I'm making here is that, see, we're seeing STX up at 10%, FTM up at 7%, EOS, even EOS is moving. Even EOS is moving. CFX is up 6, 7, 10%. I think this is a move that started 2 days ago. Tether's one that I'd be watching. Maybe I'll chart that today. Maybe I'll chart that now. But really and truly, this top 50 that we're looking at here, right? What I want you guys to do, if we're going to have an alt season, is I want us to look through this top 50. All right? Because the way that it's going to work is if Bitcoin is going to hold above 30K, and Bitcoin is going to be pushing for higher numbers, then this is what's going to happen. We're going to have this. This is my Bitcoin dominance chart. Okay, let me zoom out for you guys and let me make this clean. This is my Bitcoin dominance chart. For those of you who don't know what Bitcoin dominance is, it's Bitcoin's dominance over the entire market. So you've got the entire crypto market like this. You've got the percentage which is capitalized by Bitcoin, the percentage that's capitalized by Bitcoin and Ethereum, and then the percentage that's capitalized by only altcoins. All right. So when you're looking at Bitcoin dominance, you're essentially looking at a chart that is the inverse chart of ETH BTC. All right. Now, what we can see here for Bitcoin dominance is we're starting to break out of this range. We don't know yet if this is a breakout because we're still at range highs. We're not meant to be bullish at range highs. Okay. Technically speaking, this day could still close bearish. We don't know. It's at range high. Okay. If we did start breaking out, though, the next logical target seems to be kind of around here. This consolidation around here, probably somewhere at around 54, 55, all the way up to 58. Okay, I trust this range. This range has worked for us before. It's done pretty good. It's pretty respected. If we break out, this range has started since May 2021. Yeah, since May 2021. Okay, and we've not had any big push up for Bitcoin dominance. So look, if we get a breakout of Bitcoin dominance, we're going to need to watch out for our friend ETH BTC. Okay. Now, I told you guys just a moment ago that Bitcoin dominance is the inverse of ETH BTC. So ETH BTC, we haven't seen it hit range lows yet. Is it possible that we hit range lows and we break out lower? Or is it possible that we hold the range lows and we start going back for the range highs? Is it possible that we find support right here? Okay. I do think we go lower. The way that this is looking, it doesn't look healthy. And Bitcoin dominance is looking very strong. Let's see what happens. Okay. But really and truly, what we want to see for an alt season, if we want to see altcoins rally, really rally, we want to see ETH BTC showing a lot of strength. We want to see Bitcoin dominance going a lot lower. All right. And that's when we're going to get that big altcoin rally. So is it going to be now? I can't tell you it will be, because Bitcoin to me looks bearish. It looks bearish because we're at resistance. And it looks, when I say bearish, I don't mean bearish as in I am a bear and I want it to go to zero. I don't mean that at all. I just mean that my head, this story is a market cycle. And this story started from here. The COVID crash. That's where this entire market cycle started. This COVID crash marked the end of the previous cycle and the beginning of the new one. And we had the break exit of the bear market, we had the bull market, we've had the bear market, and now I don't know if this has been accumulation or not, but we're having what we think is an echo bubble. Did we have it before? Yes, we did. In 2016, 17, Bitcoin hit an all-time high of $20,000. Just put yourself in that mindset for a second. Just try and think like me for just a second. You are in 2017 right now. You're not in 2023. And you're not used to imagining Bitcoin higher than 12K, 15K. You're not used to imagining Bitcoin higher than 15K. That's the all-time high for you, right? Bitcoin smashes right through that and hits an all-time high of 20K. Now, when this echo bubble happened here, Bitcoin bottomed at 3K and it went all the way to 14K. So, 20K to 14K, that's a 6K difference. Bitcoin did triple that in the next cycle. So imagine triple that. So, there's no reason why we can't go to 45, 38K, 45K. There's no reason we can't do that. It's an overall, it's just adding to that overall cycle. Even if we, right now we're at 20, 30K, it's resistance. At 28K, 29K, it was at resistance. On a 5-minute chart, this is where you'd be looking to short. You'd say, all right, cool. I missed this whole move down. Price is pushing up now. I'm going to see if he can give me an entry pattern, and then I'm going to scale into my shorts, and then boom, what's my target? My target's going to be these lows right here or something like that. That's what you do on a 5-minute chart. It's all part of that cycle. Now, you got to adapt to this thing could just blow off. And if it does blow off, I don't want it to leave me behind. I want to get something out of it, and I feel like I already have. But if there's more to get, then we should get more. We should do more. So I'm not bearish on Bitcoin, but we are at resistance. We are. If we break above and we hold above 30K, then it gives me a new area to work around. It gives me this whole area here. Now I know we can go to 32K because we're in that range. We're holding that 30K level. But down here, though, down here in this consolidation, honestly, you can't tell me that it wasn't a 50-50. In fact, it wasn't even a 50-50. There were more reasons to be bearish. Because look, if this is the range that we've stepped into now, then this was the range low right here, this bottom green line here. That was the range low. We should have, it was quite obvious to be shorting from here, right there into that level. That's a good short. Usually you have to leave orders a little bit below because it might not wick your level. It might get front run and then you might just dump without you. But it was good. People who shorted any wicks into this highest year, you did the right thing. Valid trade. But technically your stop loss would have to be, from a swing perspective anyway, 31 point, I don't know, 31.8 or something like that. So it's not feasible. It's not. Everybody was just banging their stop here above the highs at 29.2. That's kind of where they were putting their stops. But unfortunately, Bitcoin's gone and taken all of them out now. And it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. It's a really, really good thing. I like when Bitcoin's going up, but just in the right context. Right now, market isn't lining up. Oil is gapping upwards. Scares of inflation. We've got CPI tomorrow. Is there going to be inflation increase tomorrow? We're going to find out. We've got, when's the next FOMC? But I know that there's going to be another rate hike for the next FOMC. I don't know there will be, but I believe that there will be. And even whether it's a 25 BPS or 100, any rate hike is not good. It's not good. It's not good at all. There's nothing bullish about a rate hike. It's very bearish. It affects people like me and you. People like me and you who live normal day in day lives. We're not millionaires. We're not billionaires. We live normal lives. So when you hear inflation going up and shit like that, that's bad. You need to be like, oh crap, I need to chat to my wife when I get home, and I need to tell her we need to save money. We need to be careful with the fuel and with the groceries and this and that. Because inflation, isn't it? Inflation is a real thing. Prices of things go higher and they become unaffordable, but your wages don't increase. So I know it sounds like I'm just sounding smart, but I'm not. It's a real thing. I've explained it on the channel many, many times. So look, to me, Bitcoin is pressing up against resistance here. I've given you the long plan. I'm personally not going to take it because it just feels like I'm really high in the sky right now. And, when you're high in the sky like that, you know how they say, don't look down below? It feels like one of those scenarios. All right. What makes me sad is that I'm probably going to miss the short because you can't short this. So whenever they do decide to send it down, I'm probably going to miss that too. And that's the whole point. That's the whole. If you want to become profitable at trading Bitcoin, if you really want to learn and really become profitable, then what you've got to learn is, when you're looking at a chart like this or when you're looking at a Bitcoin chart, Chase is the one that I really admire. He does this really well. You got to look and see, when you're doing your price action, how would Bitcoin mess people up the most? That's what you've got to look for. Like, 1 second, guys. That's what you've got to look for. How is Bitcoin? What's the best way to mess Bitcoin up, to mess people up? So to give you an example, right? You see this resistance here in that gray box there. Well, we all thought, what if it pulls down into maybe 24, 23, 24K and then start pushing back up? It'd look healthy, be bullish, following bullish market structure. But it said no. It said no. It said no. We don't want to come all the way down and allow people to get on board and allow people to trade with us. No, we want to shoot up straight away. Now everybody's targeting 32K. So you ask yourself, all right, well, if I'm going to short Bitcoin because I think Bitcoin is going back to 22, 23, 24K, I'm going to short Bitcoin at 32K because that's the level everybody wants to TP at, right? So that's where I'm going to short it. But the thing is, what if we take out these range highs here and we just continue doing these straight vertical candles like that? So the truth is, it's a very difficult market to trade. Nobody has 100% strike rate. Nobody ever will. You might have a really high strike rate if you've spent 7-8 years in your system, but I don't have a high strike rate. My strike rate is somewhere between 30 and 40%, but I make money from it because every time you get stopped out, you make one trade and it gives you like 3 stop outs back in one go. Do you see what I mean? So even if you have days that you're down on, you just keep trading. And that's the trick. Genuinely, if you want to learn something from today, the trick is that. The trick is to lower your size and just trade. Just keep trading, keep drawing these lines and keep talking about, yeah, if price comes here and then if it does this and it does that. If you keep doing it with small size, you will not even realize when your size becomes big. It was like that for me. Very at the very very beginnings, I it wasn't really. I just kept thinking, oh crap, I've got no money to trade. Like, what's the point? What's the point trading and learning this life skill if you got no money? Like, you know. But then when the bull market finally came, everything that I did before, it all made sense. And then when the next bull market comes too, all of this, even right now, speaking to you guys here on YouTube, it'll all make more sense. Because it's part of your journey, part of your life. All right, moving on. Moving on. I've shown you Bitcoin, I've shown you ETH, BTC, showed you BTCD. Just having a quick look at ES, right? Just a quick look at ES. For ES, this is the range that I've marked out for ES, all right? If I show you on the daily here, just to give you guys a clearer picture, I don't think I've marked out a stupid range. I don't think I've marked out something silly. Um, you know, I can't tell you what's up. I can't tell you what's up. It's at resistance. We've tapped that range high here at 4180s. It's at resistance. So if I give you a plan, it's only going to be a bearish plan. All right, cool. We've got some stops resting right here. Maybe we could mark that out, I guess. I'll mark out. Whoopsie. That's not it. Oh, wait. Sorry, let me just mark it out. I want to get it just right. So it would be this high here. That one. Okay. See, deviation, get back below, retest, sell off. So that's the one that I'd want. So there we go. So for ES, I mean, this is the only thing I could say. This is the only thing I could say. If we break above this 4180, it is a potential long. It is. Oh, I can't believe I'm saying that, but yeah, it is. It is up until 4300. Maybe take out this swing high here at 4324. I imagine a lot of people will be shorting the closer we get to that 4324 if we do break upwards. But as it currently stands, we are at resistance. Okay, so you could even short it here with a stop loss above 4208. I don't know, it'd be like a 1-to-1 trade because you'd short it back to the mid range, right? Maybe a 2-to-1 trade, I'm not sure, but it'll be a very long, boring swing trade. It's not worth it. Otherwise, if it does break above, even if it does break above 4300s, we'll have to talk about it after because then maybe we're pushing. No, we've broken market structure then. If we break above 4300, we've broken market structure. We're bullish. We're really bullish. Because look, I'll show you. So you've got the high here, low. Okay, can everybody see that? Higher high, higher low. Sorry, lower high, lower low. This is a deviation. This is a deviation. Here's the actual high. This is the actual high, right? And then lower low, lower high, lower low. Again, lower high. It's that same deviate, the same thing it did up here. It's doing the same thing here. So let me just move that circle down here. Okay. Lower high, lower low. So you can see it's been bearish, right? So you've got here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 little circles that I drew out for you guys. Now, what are we seeing? So now we're seeing this was the high here that led us to this lower low. So if we take out this high above here at 4,300, then now we've changed market structure because we've got the low, we've got the high, we've got the lower high, higher low, higher high, higher low, and now if we break above this, it's a higher high. So it's bullish. Very bullish, very, very bullish. All right. So that's where we are with the market. I'm hoping that that can help you with my confusions. I'm hoping that can help you guys understand why I'm seeing the stuff that I'm seeing, and also why I'm confused. Also, I mean, if we take a look at some altcoins really quickly as well, altcoins. Look at this. Look at this altcoin here. Look at this resistance that I marked out for this altcoin. You guys aren't going to believe this. This resistance right here. I This is weekly resistance, monthly resistance. Look, this is weekly resistance, my friends. The up move that sent the market lower to new lows. And look what Inge has done here. It's unbelievable. It really is. It's unbelievable. All right. So again, look, this is just injective, right? Injective could be a sign of what's to come. All right. If the market is going to keep pushing up the way it's pushing up like this, and it just keeps pushing up, I don't know where the high is going to be. Maybe it wants to take out this swing high here before dumping, or maybe it wants to go higher. It's difficult to say. However, what I will say is this. What I will say is, if Bitcoin continues in the way that it's doing, at some stage, Bitcoin dominance will have to go down. All right. And at some stage, ETH BTC will have to start pushing up. And at some stage, very soon, it will have to be around a soonish period, we're going to get an alt relief. Okay. I don't know where the money's going to come from, but this is what the chart is saying. So apparently, YOLO, you know, if we're going to get a ton of money that floods from Bitcoin and Ethereum into altcoins, I think that we're going to have something along the levels of 2015, 2016, 17, 18, something like this. So December, so here, January 2018, here, right here. So during this period of time right here, let me just zoom this in for you guys. During this period of time right here, when everything was dumping, we already knew we were in a bear market at that point. Well, traders did, not retail, but we already knew we were in a bear market at that point because price had already done this drop right here. Then it did this push up here, but alts didn't rally with this one here. Alts didn't. Alts went crazy in this area here. April, May. Sorry, it's more like this. Like that. Alts went really, really crazy here. And I think it did something similar again. I might be looking at the wrong chart. It might be no, I am correct. But in 2019, it was USD. The USD pairs ran. So that's why ETH BTC isn't showing that, because in 2019, when we had these runs, even here in 2018, this was good for sats. But in 2019, we didn't have any runs like we should have done here, right? In this little area here, this should have been a lot bigger. But USD pairs were the ones that went crazy. That's my mistake, my fault. But the point is that we're going to need to give it some time. If the alt season narrative does kick off, we're going to all need to be ready. We're going to need to be on this stream, and we're going to need to be ready. Okay, so smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, because if an alt season is coming, there's going to be a lot of trading activity involved. There's going to be a lot of new projects that probably launch to the market. There's going to be large caps that are going to be going, which we're all going to need to be on board on in some way, shape, or form. Mid caps, which we're going to need to be on board of some way, shape, or form. Meme coins towards the tail end of it, we're going to need to be on board. Do not underestimate that industry of crypto. That's where the most money is made, in my opinion. And we're just going to need to see what shit coins are available. Anyway, look, thank you for tuning in to the show. I really appreciate it. It was really good having some people here today. Please try and get the video up to 50 likes if you can. We need to get to 100, but try and get it to 50. And thank you all for tuning in. Keep an eye on the Telegram. I'm going to be updating my Telegram soon to let you guys know that I'm going to be tuning again soon, streaming again soon. Okay, it's probably going to be Thursday, but you're going to have to keep your bell notifications turned on for the channel if you guys want to know. And you're going to need to follow me on Telegram. It's the first link in the description below to go to that Telegram page so you can see some of my stuff there as well. And you'll see when I go live. I always update the Telegram over the Twitter. And also, a last thing as well is a small request. I know a lot of you guys already have Bybit accounts, but if you don't have a Bybit account, I would really appreciate if you could sign up using the link in the description below. The reason being is because Bybit could potentially become a sponsor of this show. I know that you guys know what the Reflink game is about. It's not about the money. It's about showing Bybit that I'm getting people to watch the show, enjoy the content, and they are actually signing up and they're doing their own trade, sorting themselves out, but they found Bybit through NJ. You know, that's what they want to see. So if you could take some time for the people that are here, please sign up to the link in the description below and please check the Telegram. Follow me on Twitter at TraderNJ1 and I'll see you guys